For more on this, let's cross live now to Adam Scott Bellos. He's the CEO of Israel Innovation Fund. Adam, thanks a lot for joining me. I know these are tough times. First of all, no one is trying to, make light of what's going on, but there are some key things I'd like to talk to you about. First of all, your thoughts on the latest reports that claim Israel built part of the underground system that Hamas is now using. What are your initial thoughts on that?
I mean, it sounds like we possibly, if we built the hospital in the 80s, which I was unaware of, to be completely honest, then we probably built some of the basement or the underground system there. It has no connection to the modern tunnel system that Hamas has built over the last 10 years. I mean, if anything, they probably built their modern tunnel system into incorporating it based on the intelligence that we found there today. And the plain and simple truth that we know it was a strategic place for Hamas.
You know, Adam, let's get the gloves off here for a second. You may have noticed that the whole rundown that we've had today is about the hospitals and how many hospitals, some 36 hospitals in such a small enclave, have been targeted purely because there may be Hamas militants underneath the hospitals that are storing cached weapons. At the end of the day, it's clear the UN mandate, no hospitals and anyway should be attacked. And yet here we have Israel blatantly just saying...
Are you joking right now?
No, come on, tell me.
Well, no, I know. I mean, you sound absolutely ridiculous given the fact that an RPG was launched outside of the Al-Quds hospital the other day. We know they found weapons in this hospital. The problem with the anti-Western stance, I guess you could say, or the anti-Israel stance, or the idea that Israel is out to create this humanitarian crisis that we haven't created, that was created by Hamas, is that these hospitals aren't being used by Hamas as military bases when, in fact, evidence over and over and over again is being presented that not only are they committing war crimes, but they're committing double, triple, and quadruple war crimes. They're using playgrounds and schools. I have a friend who is sitting in the hospital right now who was shot 4 times in his leg, okay, while saving his commander, who is now deceased and succumbed to his wounds from a Hamas terrorist in a school. Okay, so I really think to even go there and to suggest that we need to be targeting hospitals when we don't need to.
But Adam, the point I'm trying to make is hospitals are protected areas. They can't be just, I mean, where do people go? But where do people go for shelter then?
You are 100% right. Hospitals should be protected areas. Schools should be protected areas. But it's impossible for them to be protected areas under international law if terrorist organizations are using them to launch attacks from. Plain and simple. This isn't a hard thing to understand. Let's be very clear right now. And I feel like I've had to repeat this a number of times this week to a number of different outlets. If October the 7th was going to be used as an excuse to ethnically cleanse Gaza or commit genocide against the Palestinian people, it would already be over and done with on October 8th, 9th, and 10th. So let's be realistic here. We did not even, we waited so long to bring in our ground troops. This war has been going on now for over a month because of the methodology that the IDF is using to weed out Hamas from the Gaza Strip while securing as many civilians' safety as possible. We don't even know the real numbers yet, and you know that.
So strategically trying to get Hamas out, but just by killing over 10,000 people, that's strategic, is it?
You absolutely know that those numbers cannot be confirmed, and it's absolutely ridiculous that anybody would take any word that Hamas would say, because every single person in your studio, given the way that they probably live their lifestyle, would be slaughtered if they walked in to the Gaza Strip. So let's just be realistic and observe the reality that we're in right now. A terrorist organization committed an unspeakable crime against humanity that stopped the world more than a month ago.
All right,
now they are almost rooted out. Now they are almost rooted out, and completely destroyed. And the only and here's the best part: the entire international world couldn't even condemn October the 7th, but is claiming that and trying to pressure us to have a ceasefire without even the 250 hostages that were taken, okay, from our territory, representing over 35 different countries. So honestly, I think that your interpretation of events is absolutely obtuse and lacking of any type of moral clarity whatsoever. No offense.
All right, fair enough, Adam. Let's turn the temperatures down slightly. Now, let's say that yes, those tunnels were built by Israelis or modified by Gazans or by the Hamas. Now, if that's the case,
don't you think it's ridiculous to compare?
Well, okay, if that's the case,
that was built in the 80s to,
sure.
I mean, there's almost a 30, 25-year difference between the modern tunnel system that Hamas built that we've been destroying over and over again versus maybe some tunnels that are underneath a hospital for who knows what reason were built, which we don't even know.
Now let's both agree on the fact that there are tunnels there. Hamas militants probably use them. If that's the case, and everyone knows, every Tom, Dick, and Harry knew that the IDF were going to go in and actually clear out those tunnels, don't you think that the Hamas would have left that the leaders would have just left those tunnels? We even know some of them have left to Qatar. So if I know that, based all the way over here, surely the leaders would have known to have left the tunnels too. Why would you still go in? Why would the IDF still go in, knowing
because
that there's no one there?
Because 9,000 rockets have been fired at us, and it's very clear that there are people there, and it's very clear from the raid today of the Al-Shifra hospital that there was a huge intelligence trove that was able to be found there. Okay, in addition to the weapons that were found. Why would we go in there? I don't know, because they're firing rockets at us for the last 40 days, in addition to the crime against humanity that happened a month ago. What is it about the media that all they need is more dead Jews to justify whatever Israel has to do? I don't understand. Would that make this situation better if more Israelis were dying, if more rockets got through into Tel Aviv? I don't understand why you are not interpreting this or even providing an exegesis of this entire situation that isn't relative to the fact that we're in a state of war. I mean, this isn't the Kumbaya, songs of Imagine and John Lennon. We're in a reality here where a fundamentalist group, okay, broke into our border from 20 different places, like I said earlier, created a crime against humanity that stopped the world. And you've all forgotten that less than 30 days. I'm sorry, a little bit more than 30 days after the event took place. And on top of that, the Egyptians wouldn't open up their border for the Palestinians to leave for the south. I don't understand what.
All right, Adam, give me a second here. Give me a second. I'm loving this conversation. I respect you. Respect me. Give me a second here. Hold on a second. I'm just going to read something quickly. Now, we all know that there was a video posted by the IDF of its raid on the hospital, and it was deleted within hours of going online. It was later re-uploaded, but this time it had 20 seconds shorter. Now, the new clip also blurred this previously visible images of a laptop being taken by Israeli troops. Now, let's get back to this video posted on the IDF. The Al-Shifa hospital, among the weapons allegedly discovered, some rifles, ammunition, grenades. Israel claims it killed several Hamas militants during the raid, although no evidence was provided. Let's go back to Adam now, because I do appreciate him waiting. The IDF, Adam, the IDF said they engaged with a number of Hamas members and killed them during the hospital raid, but no evidence has ever been provided. Why do you think that is?
It's been less than 24 hours. And obviously, if the video got taken down and then re-uploaded and certain things were blurred, there was an intelligence breach, and sharing certain information could probably hinder future operations. That's just basic 101. I mean, come on.
So they're not hiding something. It was not leaked to then, oops, Mistakes there. Let's get that back down again.
Listen, I think if they re-uploaded the video, I'm not familiar with the two different versions.
Sure.
But I assume that something was probably important and it shouldn't have been released to the public, and they were able to take down the source material and they replaced it. To be honest, I really can't comment on this because I'm unfamiliar with the situation. But I would assume it must be some type of intelligence breach.
Sure. All right, fair enough. Before I let you go, I want to ask you one more question. Hamas's top brass, we know, probably are not located in Gaza, okay? But instead, probably located, not 100% sure, but probably located in Doha. So as part of Israel's pledge to wipe out the group off the face of the planet, will Qatar, do you think, be the next target? You're searching for the Hamas leaders, right? I mean, you're just going to find them anywhere.
I'm not going to lie. You made me laugh with that one. We're gonna go fight.
Why?
Qatar right now.
Well, you want the Hamas leaders, right?
Okay. In all seriousness, what was the last war that Israel started?
What do you mean? What was the last? You're constantly at war. Since the 1970s,
no.
You've been constantly at war with your neighbors.
What is the... First of all, we've been at war since before our state was even created. We've suffered, 2,500 years of exile and been thrown out of most Western countries. I would say that most of the countries that are in the UN have Jewish blood on their hands.
Sure.
Okay, so let's just make that clear. But let's be honest. What war has Israel started ever? There's only one, and we preemptively struck, and that was during the 6-Day War. We've never actually started a conflict. We've responded to incursions on our border and attacks on our civilians, but we have never gone out and actually physically started a war. We have never broke any international ceasefire that we've been a part of. So I don't know why anybody would assume that we would go fight someone that isn't our neighbor. And based on the fact that Qatar is actually quite interested in joining the Western world and not harboring terrorists, and they've been quite helpful doing what they can in the space that they're in, I don't see how the Hamas leadership that is in Doha will be able to escape the International Criminal Court. I mean, the rape cases are already being built. They have video. We have video evidence of what happened. We also have video evidence of them celebrating. They posted it on social media. I don't think that this is going to be handled in some radical way. And I also don't appreciate our country being displayed or referred to in some way that we're just out to kill people. Every single war that we fought has been a war of defense. And I think that it's inappropriate to create some type of megalomaniacal Zionist entity that's just out to cleanse people of their areas or commit genocide against them, given the fact that there's about 6.5 million Jews surrounded by 40 million Arabs in this region. So I'd like to really stick to the realities of the Middle East. And I'm quite certain that once we ramp up the theater of war in the South, we will probably have to wrap up the theater of war that is brewing in the North. And I pray for peace, to be completely honest. And I hope that we can get the peace process with Saudi Arabia back on track. And based on our success in Gaza, I really hope that we'll be able to allow people to go back to their homes. I'm not sure what the reality will be at this time. But I also hope that Egypt
Adam,
actually puts in some help.
We all hope for that too. We honestly do. Who should rebuild Gaza?
Who should rebuild Gaza?
Yeah. Who should pay for that?
I don't really care as long as it's not the Chinese.
Okay, Adam. Let's leave it there. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I appreciate.
Likewise, it's always a pleasure.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me and us at RT. Thanks again.
Take care.